a new national champion, Stephanie Vassallo.
I have to train with the guys. Yeah.
So you need more of a challenge.
I don't know what I was doing. It was really hard for me. My nano, he had cancer, so that was really hard for the family. I had a car accident. It really took so much from me, and I said to myself through all the tears, I will train. I said, I'm doing it. Even though I'm sad, even though I'm tired, I'm going to do it. I got off that stage and I bawled my eyes out. You don't have to put it on speaker. Oh my gosh, congratulations. I actually had to pinch myself. I'm like, this is not real, because I dreamed of that.
Stephanie.
Yes.
You are the reigning arm wrestling champ of Australia.
Yes, in the lightweight category, yes.
Yes. What drives you to do something so different and so cool?
Because arm wrestling and strength has always been something, well, strength itself has always been something that I've loved to challenge myself in. And when it came to finding out about arm wrestling, I gave it a go and didn't know that I actually had quite a good skill for it. And within a year became lightweight champion of Australia. So it was a very big achievement for me.
Within a year?
Within a year, yeah.
Okay. Did you train hard for that?
I'd say yes, I did. I had, and also mentally, it was really hard because trying to get me to do training, and especially with like, you know, life itself, it was hard to make time. So, but I made time and it paid off, which was fantastic. I trained twice a week. Tried to train twice a week, minimum twice a week, but I tried to aim for 3 times a week.
Okay.
I normally do that a month or more before a comp is up. So yeah.
What was life like before starting, and what's life like now?
That is really, really awesome question, because that mentally, arm wrestling done a lot for me. I know that you may think that strength-wise it would, and it did strength-wise, but also mentally it was just like I was always, you know, scared I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to be good enough, and, you know, I have a bad habit of, you know, saying, you know, maybe I can't do that, or I never had that vision of actually being somewhere really, you know, at the top of something, you know what I mean? So when I got to arm wrestling, it changed my perspective on life almost completely, because in one of the comps I went to in Melbourne, there was a lovely lady that I met, Celine, and she saw that I was so nervous, and she told me, she's like, why are you nervous? And I was like, oh, because this is scary. This is you know, I'm scared of everyone else. They're going to beat me. Like, you know, there's so many women here. And she just looked at me and she said, Steph, swap it around. Everyone's scared of you here. And I said, really? And you know what? And when she left me like that, I was like, wow. Like, it's true. Like, it changed my perspective on everything. Now when I walk around, obviously I don't walk around saying everyone's scared of me, but I do think like, I do have my head a little higher, you know, than being so low and looking at the ground. And I see a lot more of my worth now and what I am capable of doing. So, yeah, it's changed a lot, my life with arm wrestling. So, for the better, like a lot of great change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it isn't just a physical change, you'd say?
Mental change, yeah. So both for the better. I can't say one more than another. I feel like equally I've changed so much mentality, and also with my strength, it's ridiculous. Like, I've always been naturally strong, especially like, you know, I've always been a farm girl. I've always been on the farm and running around outside, and sports and, you know, physical activity was always something I really liked.
Yeah.
And yeah, so strength definitely, yeah, and mentality, yeah. Yeah.
What was that one moment that you experienced that you were like, I'm an arm wrestler now?
That was New South Wales state comp. It was like, oh, it was amazing. It was just like, I went there and I was like, like I'll give it a shot. It'd be nice to get a trophy or whatever. And there was the girls there. There was two girls I didn't really know of, but there was like also Ella and Yu Ying, and we always train all the time. But these other two girls, I was a bit scared. I was like, oh no, like I don't know my strength with these girls. And long story short, I won. I came first, and won the trophy and won the rank. And when I grabbed that trophy and I like had people like cheering for me and stuff, I was like, that's it, I'm all in. I'm all in. I was like, this is amazing, because like I'd never won a trophy before, and it was like so amazing. I was like, this is amazing. I mean, like I wonder how much further I can go with this, and I've gone so far, and I want to see how much further I can go. So yeah.
So would you say it's a lifestyle now?
Yes. I dedicate part of my week to arm wrestling. I have to, if there's not going to be a comp on, this is just my little thing I do. Probably not everyone does this, but when there's not a comp on, I'll train at least once a week. Have to, and if I don't, I feel really bad, and I will then the next week train 2 times a week. I try and make up for it. But yeah, no, yeah, that's.
I find that really interesting, because I know a lot in the competition space and the athlete space, there's like so much talk about training every single day and overworking and going all out and completely shutting out everything and obsessing over this one thing, which is a complete reality. And then I hear you say that you only train once a week.
Well, I should be training more. I know personally I should be training more, but especially with my hobbies, like my hobbies sort of coincide with arm wrestling a little bit. Like I do gardening and stuff like that. So obviously, like I'm doing physical work. So I know I was talking to a lady like that was really good at arm wrestling. She was from Melbourne, and she said like what I do, it conditions the muscles. So really, it's really good for what you do, and especially with plants, they need a lot of care all the time. So, I mean, I make a lot of time for that, but I should probably be making more time for arm wrestling. But yeah, but the comps, like when the comps are on, I try to train a lot more. So
what I hear is if you're training once a week and you're still a national competitor, number one to be exact, then there has to be an efficiency in training that you go for.
Yeah.
As in a certain type of training that you're really efficient when you do it.
Yeah. So, well, the kind of training I do, like, is mainly, like, the club training when we go to the club and stuff like that. For Sydney Spartans. Yeah. So, when I go there, I grip up with a lot of people. A lot of the time now, I actually grip up with the guys now, because I need a little bit more competition, I guess. I mean, the girls are really fantastic, and I do grip up with them, but I mean, like the other day, I done a super match, which was last minute. Yeah. And I mean, like I pinned him on the right hand, but not the left. So, I mean, that just goes to show that, I need more training. And even if it means guys, like I have to train with the guys, and so be it. So, yeah.
So you need more of a challenge.
Yeah, I need more of a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, but the training I do it's mainly just to revise sort of thing, but I know during the week, like when there's comps on and I train again, because there's only club once a week, I train with my boyfriend in his, he's got like a little home gym thing, and I go there and he trains me up, and he's like my personal trainer. So. And
your boyfriend is?
Bowen Cantado, yes.
Bowen Cantado, yes. And he's an arm wrestler.
Yes, he's an arm wrestler. Yes. He went to the nationals, and his weight category, because there's so many weight categories in the males, but with the females, there's only lightweight and heavyweight. Yeah. There's so many, and he and sometimes they change the categories because they eat try to go into a certain one. They eat less or something like that. I'm not quite sure of what weight category he was in, but he won second in it. So, yeah, he's pretty good. He's very good at what he does.
So your whole life, is
Yeah.
basically like relationships. You're primed for arm wrestling. Your gardening is primed
Yeah.
for arm wrestling, and you train.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how you're winning.
I guess, yeah. I guess that's so. I mean, like, yeah, no, it's fantastic. But I have noticed, like, a difference in my arm wrestling. Like, if it wasn't for the training and for the stuff like that, I wouldn't be as good as I am now. I don't know, like, especially my first comp, it was actually super almost embarrassing seeing how I used to arm wrestle. Like, when I used to arm wrestle, like, when I arm wrestle now, I stay pretty straight and I, like, pull back. But then I don't know what I was doing. Like I was like it was like this weird thing, like almost like a press, and it was like weird. But I still worked. So, but yeah, now it's a bit more smoother for my technique. So yeah.
On your Instagram page,
Yes.
I saw the word horticulturist.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Horticulturalist. Yes.
Horticulturalist.
Yes.
Yes. On Google, it's defined as an expert in garden cultivation and management.
Yes.
Are you that?
Yes. I'm Cert 3 horticulturalist. I studied
Right.
3 years in TAFE. So yeah, that's
Okay.
me.
What do you do with that?
What do I do with that? So I work with plants, and I also have my own little business with plants. So I'll start with the job I'm currently in. I work at a nursery. It's pretty close to my place, and we have like a lot of common plants, but also a lot of unique plants that I work with, and we sell them there. So it's a retail plant nursery, but it's not your basic nursery. It's really open and a lot of outdoors, and it's quite sweet there. I really like working there. And, you know, the day will consist of potting up plants, helping people buy plants, and using your knowledge and stuff like that. But with my own business, I do all sorts of things with that. I either do garden maintenance when people need it. I do make terrariums for people. I sell plants. I make plant arrangements. I have had the business for about 2 to 3 years. It was sort of small when I started, especially during the COVID times. It was really, really popular. But as you know, I guess with money and financial things these days, I guess people have sort of stepped back from buying a plant, because you don't really need a plant, you want to plant. But I don't know, I just I hope that it still goes well. There are like the odd people that will buy trays from me, but hopefully it keeps getting better. So, and yeah.
Stephanie,
Yes.
when you say people don't need plants, I did a bit of research, and there's a few research articles from the University of Minnesota,
Okay.
and they say that a plant in an office, hospital, or school
I know this one, yeah.
in a room will have a significant impact on
your
mental
mental
health.
health. Yes, that is very correct. It is. I mean, when you go in a room and you see a plant, I don't know, it makes me happy. But I'm a horticulturalist, so I mean, when I see plants, it always makes me happy. But it is true, and they are good for the air as well. So they, filter out the air and stuff like that. You need a lot of them to do that. But I mean, you can get like some really good ones. Like I know there's like the snake plant and this peace lily. They're really good with filtering it out. Filtering the air. So if you had like a few of them, it's better than like a million other plants that don't really have as much filtration as like a peace lily or a snake plant. So yeah.
I know from my experience, ever since starting the business,
Yes.
every time I used to get stressed and things started to pile up, I'd just take a runner to the park.
Yes.
Or go somewhere quiet with trees, with nature nearby,
Yes.
whether it's night or whether it's morning.
Yeah.
And the difference it would make in just a matter of 1 to 2 hours is drastic.
Yes. Yes.
And like I'm starting to make the assumption that I think it's almost a universal human need to at least be exposed to that.
Yes.
What
No.
are your thoughts?
Yes, you're very true, true with that. Me personally, I've always been very down to earth, very nature sort of person my whole life, whether it was because I was raised in, on land and stuff like that. I mean, like, I've always loved nature, and I feel that if I don't, like I tell my boyfriend quite often, like, I need to go for a walk, I need to go for a hike this weekend, we'll go for a hike. And after the hike, it's like a refresh. It's like, it's such a nice, depending on the hike. I mean, like a few weeks ago, we got stuck up a mountain. So that was a bit stressful, but no, usually if the hike, you know, it's pretty good. I come out of that hike feeling so refreshed. You need to visually look at nature, be with nature, and I don't know, when I see running water and hear running water, it makes me feel very like calm and collected and stuff like that. And and I feel like mentally, when you're mentally strong, you can become physically strong as well. So
I read another research article
uh-huh.
from the University of Illinois.
Okay.
And they say they basically ran a few tests with public housing.
Yes.
And they had housing without greenery and nature and housing with greenery and nature.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones with greenery and nature reported that the people living there, residents, knew more people. They had stronger feelings of unity.
Okay.
And they had an increased desire to support each other.
Hmm.
And in our company, Reunited,
Yes.
in our social organization, we are all about connecting
Yes.
with honor, teaching young men how to connect in the right way.
Yes.
And when I read this, I was like, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Like, when the tendency for me to want to connect and talk on a deeper level with my friends in nature skyrockets compared to like in a closed room
Yeah.
in between walls.
Yeah.
How has that been for you?
So, well, being with plants and stuff like that has, practically, I feel like plants, or the community of like people with plants, it's great. Like, I feel like when there's plants, you can sort of get people to come together in a way. I mean, like, I know that I used to work for a retirement village, and they had like a lot of gardens there, and it was great because like everyone would say, hey, like, let's put a flower and gum here. Hey, like, everyone would come together to plant the tree, or everyone would sort of say, hey, I've got an extra cutting from my like plants that I was propagating. Do you want it? Or yeah, sure. It kind of gets people together, and also not just that. I feel like it also gives people the sort of mental power to, I don't know, talk to other people, I guess. I mean, if you're in like a box, you feel kind of trapped, but then if you see plants and in a garden and stuff, you feel more open, and you feel more, oh, okay, like this is nice. And I don't know, it's I feel like the plant community is pretty good. So and also places with a lot of plants.
I like to think back to our primal ancestors.
Yes.
And the reason why I like to do that is because a lot of that old thinking and subconscious programming actually still exists in us from then. And I look at it, I'm like, why would plants make such a big difference? Why would going out to nature make such a big difference for the mind?
Yeah.
And I think one conclusion I'm getting to is nature kind of symbolizes prosperity, abundance, a healthy landscape to live on.
Yes.
And if we're exposed to that, then we kind of relax.
Yes. No, that is true. Because like, I mean, there was also this is very random, but I would assume that it may be the same for us like humans. But they done this study on like apes and stuff like this, of some sort of like monkey or something, and in the types that lived in the lush rainforest, they had like a higher rate of breeding and stuff like that.
Right.
But then the monkeys that were without nature, less sort of food and stuff like that, and more of an environment that was, you know, of less abundance of greenery and lush life, less popularity, like less rates of breeding, and they were also like had more like, I think, disease. They were like stressed, so they couldn't. Yeah, they didn't go far with their little colonies and stuff. So, I don't know. I know we're not a monkey, but you know, it's sort of the same, I guess. I mean, like, I don't know. I'd be more happier on a lush area and, you know, food and things I can pick than, you know, a little box somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Nature, well, according to research, makes our mental health better.
Yeah.
Does it make you a better athlete?
Yes, I'd say it does. I'd say it does because, like I said before, when you're mentally become strong, you can physically become strong. It takes the mind to do something before you actually pick up that weight and train with it. Like, like if I don't go out, like outside and stuff like that, I feel that I don't want to train and stuff like that. But not just that, even with like plants and stuff, like I said, it keeps me naturally fit, but it also like helps me like, again, like mentally have more power to do the things in arm wrestling and stuff like that. So yeah.
So stronger mind.
Stronger mind, stronger muscles. Yeah.
Stronger muscles.
Yeah.
That's the key. In arm wrestling,
Yes.
who has been your biggest support in pursuing this career?
I would say there's a few people, but I'd say my boyfriend and I'd say my parents. They have been very supportive. Whenever I have a comp or a match, Mum's like, give me the link, and she like puts it up on the big screen. She's like standing in front of it. She's like, yeah. And it's so funny because after a match or something, like especially at the comp, like at the nationals, when I won the gold, like I felt my phone just ringing, like, and I was just like, oh, it's such a big moment. And you answer the phone and you don't have to put it on speaker. Oh my gosh, congratulations. And she's like, oh, your hard work, like, yeah, she's very supportive mom, and even my stepdad, he's lovely. He's very supportive, and he sometimes we go on the kitchen table and arm wrestle a bit. And Bowen, I mean, like if it wasn't for Bowen, I wouldn't even be really in the sport. He showed me the sport, and he trains me and helps keep me in the game, I guess. So yeah, no, he's great too, Bowen. They're all lovely. Yeah. So yeah.
You just told me about the high times and the good times and how your family gets involved with that.
Yeah.
What about the times where it isn't as pleasant? How do they support you through that?
When it comes to arm wrestling, or just in general?
In general.
In general. In the hard times, they do still support me. Like Bowen, he is there, and his company will come support me and talk to me, and my like parents, they also support me too. We are very much, especially with my background, we are very much like very community. We very much like to talk to one another, help one another, give each other strategies for one another, sort of help each other out a bit more. So yeah, they do help me out quite a lot in times of need, like especially like my mum, like she's, as much as it annoys me sometimes, I know why she's doing it. Like there's times where I'm sitting down and I'm like, I'm outside, I'm not doing anything, and I'm just like, ugh. And then she's like, hey, why don't you do that thing you were talking about? And I'm like, like she's trying to get me, and I'm like, I just want to just chill out. But then she's kind of right, and then I go do it, and I'm like, oh, like that's great. I feel a lot better now. So I know she's trying to help me, but yeah, because sometimes I do get stuck, and sometimes you need to help someone out when you're stuck, and then scratch my back, I scratch yours, sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. The biggest reason why I've pursued to take this path on connecting people together is because people act as a backbone for each other when your backbone starts to deteriorate.
Yes. And
often, even through my experience through life, I've been a backbone for a lot of people. But then there come certain moments, like just micro spasms through the year where I really need someone.
Yeah.
And especially as a competitor and as a business owner, for me, those people are priceless.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to realize that a lot of people who do pursue a path of, let's just say hard work, to put it that way, tend to isolate more than they tend to connect.
Yeah.
To pursue that path better.
Yeah.
My idea on this is it's important to choose the right people instead of to isolate everyone altogether.
Yes.
How do you have a process for choosing the right people in order to help you best?
Well, yeah. So with me, I've always had this mentality, which to some people may see, like I've always, how can I say this? Like even through school and through then after then adulthood, I have sort of been picky with who I hang out with, because who you hang with is who you become. And, you know, and again, like, being there for one another, like, in my opinion, you want to be with the right people because you want to go to the right places. And because of that, my friend group is very small. But you think about it, the quality is so rich, but the quantity is not quite there. But I'd rather something of quality, you know what I mean? Which I do see some people, they will choose the quantity over the quality, and then their quality of life goes sort of, I don't know, downward. So even if, and I've told myself this, even if I stand alone, if I know I'm standing for the right thing, I will keep standing and keep pursuing forward. And that has happened sometimes. And you know what? Even when I stand alone, people will go, hey, like, that's true. Like, let's follow, like let's go with her. And, you know, it makes a great path for people as well. I feel like I know I'm getting really deep here, but this is really important, and I would like to spread this. As a person, I feel like we are here to make the world a better place, whether it be, you know, through making someone's day, whether it be making the environment that we live in better. That's why I do gardening and stuff, because I feel my purpose is very, very rich. You know, like when I used to work in a delicatessen and stuff, and I just felt like, you know, like, yeah, sure, I'm serving people and stuff, but like, I want to be, you know, doing something else more purposeful. You know, like, I mean, they don't really need me here. It's a multi-million business, but like the second I work for like a small company and I'm selling plants and it's making their gardens great, it's helping the biodiversity, it's helping the bees, it's helping everything, it makes me feel good. I just feel like, for me being here, I want to leave this planet with, you know, knowing that I've done so much good. It makes me happy. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's your purpose.
My purpose is to be, you know, like, we all, you know, in the end, there's an end, but I want to, you know, that end to be, you know, like, even if, you know, I didn't get to the highest thing or whatever, like, I just think that, you know, like, you'll think of the time that you helped that person out, that they really needed you. You'll think of the time that, you know, you helped out on a certain occasion and it really made their day. You know, without you there, that wouldn't have happened, you know? Everyone makes a difference, and you can make a difference for the better or for the worse. And I feel like as people, we should all, you know, help each other out. Like someone drops something, you know, go help them pick it up. You know, someone that, you know, a friend needs a hand getting somewhere, you know, drive them there, you know, help them out. But obviously, like, don't be giving, you know, some people are givers and some people are takers, sort of thing. But give, but you know, just know how much to give and stuff like that. But with strangers, I don't mind because I don't know them. I'm just like, just take all this. Like, I don't know, like, even a lady the other day, she had needed $2 and I just gave it to her. I was like, I take it. And I don't know, I feel so happy, just like, makes my day. So anyways, yeah.
The mission behind what we do is actually comes from the inverse of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And we're basically from the ages of 14 to 44, young men are committing suicide, and that is the biggest killer of young men. That's It's
very scary. I did hear that, and like, knowing that fact, it's scary. It's really sad. Yeah.
And with enough research I've looked at I really wanted to look at why that's the case. And it often sources from a mixture of depression and anxiety. And the depression comes from them just telling themselves enough times that they have no worth in society. They have no reason to live, basically. Yeah. And what I'm hearing from you is you're basically saying that, like, one of the greatest purpose to have is to give.
Yeah.
Other people. Has that been your way of, like, making you feel better and, like, giving you better purpose?
Yeah, Well, that's sort of like my purpose is just, I mean, like, really, like, you know, you can get your multi-million-dollar business or whatever, but like, I just feel like, you know, then when you sort of go, where does it go? Like, at least my kindness, I want it to like spread like a disease. I just want it to, like, when I give that person that $2 to pay for their thing, it's almost like, okay, you're next. You do something nice, you know, and it spreads. And someone's like, you know what, that lady was nice. I should do something nice. That's why I do these things, is I want to spread kindness. I want to spread positivity. I want this world to be a better place. I want, you know, for people to walk outside and, you know, feel that, you know, people around me can help me.
Yeah.
And not feel alone. Because you can be in a crowd and feel totally alone. But the second that people start being kind, we start feeling like a human again. We start being in these groups and be in public and, you know, actually feel comfortable around one another. And that's what I want. I want kindness and good things, and leaving the planet knowing that you've done all these good things puts a good imprint on, you know, people to come, and, you know, remembering what being a human is about. You know what I mean? Your success isn't, in my opinion, your success isn't money. It's you know, your quality of life and what, you know, your quality of life, you know, are you happy? That's the richest thing you can do. And by making other people's life a bit easier, everyone becomes rich. They become happy. So, yeah.
You say happy. I genuinely feel like I feel the best when I know that I've given someone something.
Yes.
Even more so than receiving.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I feel bad when I receive something. Like, why are you doing this to me? I don't deserve this. But, like, when I give, it's like, it's just so good. But, yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah. I've definitely, through my mental health journey, had to learn how to receive. Because for me, I realized if I'm going to give someone something, they have to receive it. So if I want to make someone else feel good giving, then I have to learn how to receive it as well.
Yes.
And the biggest thing that really clicked for me with that is people get reinforced or punished for their behavior. And if someone's going to give me something and I say, oh, no, I don't want it, then they're going to be reinforced that it's not nice to give.
Exactly.
Whereas if I go, thank you so much, you're actually such a great person for doing that. I actually needed this.
Yes.
They will be like, gosh.
I want to do this again. I should do this again. Yeah. No, totally. Like, even if it's a compliment, even if it's not like a physical thing, like, I make sure that, like, the receiving end, I say, like, oh, like, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much. Like, so that they go, oh, wow, you know, that was really good. And so what if they get a sour person? At least they know that, you know, there are people out there that can receive that sort of thing. Because, you know, sometimes you'll do kind things and sometimes it's not the result you really wanted. Like, it has happened to me once. Like, I asked someone, like, oh, did you drop this? And then they just, like, was like, what? That's not mine. I'm like, okay, like, I was just asking if you dropped it, and then they're like, you're wasting my time. And you know what? Then and there, I could have said, I'm not going to ever do that again. But I was like, you know what? There's going to be that one person that drops something and is going to be like, OMG, thank you so much, because it would have taken me ages to find that again, or would have never found it ever. So, you know, yeah, I feel like the people that do sort of set you back in like that negative way of saying, hey, why did you do that? I guess it's a challenge to see if you're going to do it again. Because if you're always, it's like in life, if everything's good, like, there's no hurdles. You're not going to get stronger, you know what I mean? It's not going to, that's what I mean. Like, people say, why is there bad? And it's like, because it challenges you to see if you're a good person. If we're all good people, like, that's easy, right? It shows us, like, you know, down to the bone, like, will you be a good person if this person, you know, drops something? Will you actually, you know, help out in that, you know, in that group when they need you? And, you know, it tests to see how kind you are, and, you know, stuff like that. I don't know, that's what I think. I think without, you know, without bad, it doesn't show how good we can be.
Yeah. The way I look at it is in a lens of resilience. And it's basically very similar to what you said.
Yeah.
If everything is easy, and if it is easy to become a good quote unquote person,
Yes.
or if it's easy to achieve what you want to achieve,
Yes.
then it won't actually be fulfilling.
Yes. No, that is right. That is right.
And
yeah.
it's the actual hardship that makes it worth achieving.
Yes.
So
yes.
why not pursue the hardship
Yes.
instead of the happy feeling at the end?
If you got something quickly,
Yeah.
it's not worth it. Like let's go back to the arm wrestling national champions. I was training for that was hard because not only because of life, you know, in my garden or whatever. So practically, I really wanted to do really well in the nationals. I really wanted to get at least a medal, and I mean, I hit 2 gold medals, which was amazing. But during that time, it was really hard for me. I had my nano, he had cancer, so that was really hard for the family. Then I had a car accident, and then that took a toll on me mentally as well. So making time to train, making time to then find a new car, making time to see my nano, you know, making time for my hobby, it really took so much from me. And I said to myself, through all the tears, I will train. I want to win a medal, just at least one medal. And when I went on that stage, and because of how hard it was to train and find time and stuff like that for me, when I won gold, and mind you, just for left, it wasn't even the both of them, I got off that stage and I bawled my eyes out. I actually had to pinch myself. I'm like, this is not real, because I dreamed of that. I visioned that, like, you know, you think you have these visions, like, oh, it'd be so good to win gold, man. Like, that would be amazing. And to actually do it, phenomenal. And then I won right hand. And then I remember Phil saying, man, she's not going to even make it up on the stage. She's going to... But I was really happy to win both gold. And I know some people may say, it's just a medal. Like, it's just a... But it was what it was to get there. It was the things that took me, like, I took to get there. And how strong I became to get there. Instead of saying, I'm sad, I can't do this, I said, I'm doing it. Even though I'm sad, even though I'm tired, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And it paid off. And yeah, it was just, I think that was one of the biggest things I've ever achieved, because of not just the medals and not just being a national champion, but just mentally. And I think life was challenging me, and it kind of said, okay, here you go, you've done well. And I was like, oh, thank God. Like, so yeah, I think that was just amazing. So yeah.
The journey over the destination.
Honestly, when I think of that medal, I don't even think of like the medal. I think of what it took. You know, I worked, and mind you, I worked like 9-hour days. I had to get up at 5 every morning, and then it took an hour to get to work every morning, and you know, stuff like that. I worked full time. I trained after work. I you know, I had no time for some things, and had to balance a lot, you know, and no one's perfect. I could have picked some things better than other things, but that's how you learn. I mean, even if I didn't win those medals, when you lose, you don't lose. People don't lose, they learn. When you lose, it's learning. Like when someone said, oh man, like I lost at that game. It's like, well, you know what to do now, don't you? Yeah. Well, you learned. It's not losing. You learned something. And sometimes, like, when I lose, I almost get a little bit happy. I'm like, wow, now I know how to do that better. And there's some people that don't even have the audacity to even try. So I think it's amazing that you give things a go. And even if you lose, you just remember some people haven't even had the strength to get up and do that. So, yeah. Yeah.
What is something you're grateful about in this moment of your life?
I'd say my health and my family. I'd say that because, you know, especially going through all those things, mentally now I'm better, so health and stuff like that. And family, that includes, you know, my boyfriend and stuff, they really have supported me and given me the extra push to do things sometimes, you know. So those are the two things I'm so grateful for. Having a good, you know, community, because, you know, we're human, you know, you need a community, you know, even if it's just your family, it's fine. And your health is so important. Your health is your wealth. Again, like I said, your happiness and your well-being is richer than what money can give. I mean, obviously you need money, but I then think there becomes greed, you know. So yeah, I think that those are the two things I'm grateful for. Yeah.
I find it interesting how when I asked you about, you know, what you're grateful about, you mentioned the things that almost are really heart-based, and it's like things that you can't really earn your way into, but rather you connect your way into.
That's correct. Yeah. I'm very much a feeling person, and I don't base my success and me, like how great I am, on the things I have, like meaning like materialism, like, you know, stuff like that. I base it on, like, you know, the things that I love, you know, like my plants, my family, the sport, stuff like that. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Stephanie,
Yes.
I have a question, but it's more like a piece of advice.
Sure.
So, you're a weapon.
Thank you.
You work hard.
Yes.
And I know a lot of young men who, they want to get better in life in multiple areas according to what they deem as is better. And they also, like, a lot of them are single. And it is proven statistically that there are more single people and more sexless people than ever. And a lot of the young men that I know, they always ask me for advice on how to connect with and get into a relationship with someone who also wants to succeed and grow with them and values family and all the above.
Yeah.
What would be your piece of advice coming from someone on the other side who, for these young men?
Do you mean like to connect with women?
Yeah.
So I'd say, when you are, you know, kind and a good person, for me, that's what I see, and what men need to understand as well is that not everyone's the same. You're gonna get, sadly, women who, you know, would rather big money or stuff like that, or material things, and sometimes when you act in that way of good, it's almost brushed off because that's not what they're looking for. When you are good, like a good person, helping, you know, others and doing things for yourself and growing mentally and, you know, succeeding in your goals, you may feel lonely because no one's seeing it, but I feel like, you know, it's like gold in a way. It's hard to find. It will come to you. It will come to you, and you will connect. You will feel the connection when it happens. And I just say, don't give up, because, you know, it's when you focus on yourself and become better in yourself. Again, like I said, like getting your goals and stuff like that, it will attract someone. Obviously, you know, I'm not saying like they're just gonna run up to you. Obviously, you know, talk and stuff like that. Talk to one another about what you like and what your values are, and yeah, you can connect with, if you want like a woman, like a woman that has a lot of worth in, you know, love for you and stuff like that. Ask those questions, like, what do you like? You know, what do you want? What future do you want? Stuff like that. And yeah, I feel like the values in that is greater than anything, like of money and stuff like that. Obviously, you need money. Like, I mean, if you want a family, you need money to support the kids in the house and stuff like that. But, you know, But for me, I just give me a plant and I'm happy. One thing about Bowen that I really like, I'll make an example. I like he's really lovely to me, but also the love for other things. Like when I see him help someone out in public, it's like I love it, fall in love again. And even like I forgot what animal it was. I think it was a lizard, and he's like, oh. Just picks it up and moves it. I'm like, oh, that's better than anything. Like, I just want to see that, and I'm taken by it. It's so sweet, like that the love for things, you know. I really love that for me anyway. So yeah.
What's the biggest turnoff from a guy?
Not making no communication and not making time for one another. I feel like
No communication.
it's like, for instance, okay, hold on, let me scratch that. Not a strong mentality. I feel like for instance, if you say, hey, like, can you please do can you please not put that there because I'm doing something, it would be great if you just put it over there, you know. And if they just said like, oh my God, like it's not that big of a deal, or like, you know, that sort of stuff, or, you know, hey, like, do you want to, I don't know, like just stuff like, you know, you want to communicate and it's like a wall practically. They're not, because I feel like women like to be listened to, and I feel like, you know, we like to be understood, and I guess both genders like to be understood, but especially with me, and I find that with a lot of women, like love is something that we really need. So if a guy is just gonna like, yeah, whatever, and not give you a hug or a kiss or show that affection, they can say they love you, but it needs to be shown. So you need love and you need a good mentality, and without those things, for me, that is a turn off, because some women, they will be stressed and stuff like that, and like all we need is a hug, like that's it, and we're happy. Like I feel like there's times where I'm like to Bone, like I don't know what to do, and if he just gives me a hug, I'm just like, oh, I'm better now. So like without that, those, you know, the affection, and without the strong mentality, and when I say strong mentality, I just mean like communicating with one another, like, hey, you know, can you tell me about that next time? I just felt a little bit shut out from that. Yeah, no worries. I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. Constructive.
So what I'm hearing is the ability to communicate is a strength.
And take feedback, yes. So like when that person said, I feel shut out when you don't tell me these things, it's not attacking them. It's just saying like how they feel and saying, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. I won't let it happen again. Which I have seen that conversation where someone say, hey, I feel shut out. Can you please, and they'll just say, it's not that big of a deal. Like, deal with it. You're so weak. Like, I feel like it's not going to work in any relationship really, if that's not going to happen. And I just feel like those two things are the very biggest things in a relationship to have. If there's none of that, I feel like it's not going to go very far. With me anyway, it's my experience. I love love and I love communication. So yeah. So
showing love through action.
Yes.
And communicating and getting back feedback, basically accepting feedback.
Yeah, so communicating with one another constructively. Yeah.
Constructively.
Yeah.
A lot of the young men we work with, banter gets pushed to the extreme. And a lot of the time that gets transferred into when someone actually needs help. And just like you said, if something is going on with someone, it's so easy. I think that's the problem. It's so easy. It's so, like, it comes so naturally and subconscious to just be like, just deal with it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about when I just say, just deal with it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to put in the effort of love to communicate that.
Yes.
Whereas I know for a fact that if someone did that to me, I would feel shut off.
Yes.
But if when I was going through something, they went, you know what, let's actually talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's actually like check in with each other. How are you going? What is making you think like that?
Yeah.
Instantly, I feel so much more connected to that person.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not just intimate relationships, it's relationships with anyone.
Yes.
And would you say that it's even more important in an intimate relationship?
Very important. I mean, like with friends and stuff like that, it's great, but I feel like with a relationship, you are going to commit and be like a friend. You can just go, I don't like you, and move on. But when you have a family and a house and a this and that, and it's more things that make you like entwined into one another. And I feel like, you know, being with that person, like that, you know, you're going to raise your kids with, you're going to, you know, be with all the time, you want to make sure it's a good person so that it puts a good reflection on yourself and, you know, I guess the family and stuff like that. So I feel like it is different because like friends come and go, but a relationship is something that for me is forever. It's something that, you know, I go in a relationship to build and become you know, the best with this person. I don't go in a relationship to just, you know, and then move on. Oh, that's not me. But yeah, that's that.
That's that. We talked about how nature helps and positively affects mental health from your end.
Yeah.
How does the quality of your relationships affect your mental health?
Oh, meaning like my current relationship? Yeah. How does it like with my mental health? Yeah. Well, I think having a relationship, because my relationship is you know, good, and you know, we're happy. It is good because, you know, it's when you find the right person, you feel more comfortable in your skin. You know, you have fun with someone. You get to be with someone that you know, makes you happy. And I don't know, I feel like also being with someone, especially, you know, someone you love and stuff like that, mentally it actually takes you to cool places. Like for instance, like meeting Bowen took me arm wrestling, Bowen meeting me. He knows a few more things about plants and cool hikes and, you know, all those sort of places. So because, you know, you're not going to ever find someone like you, when you find someone, their experiences and stuff like that will sort of make you grow and you know, understand, I guess, people a little bit better. Because, like, you know, when you don't talk to people and stuff, you always think like for instance, when I do something for someone and they say thank you, like some people go, oh, thanks, and that's their way of saying, oh, thank you. That's me. When I say thank you, I go, oh, thank you so much. But someone else's thank you so much is probably just a, oh, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, then you realize, oh, not everyone's like me. And then you realize people do things differently. And, you know, being in a relationship, you understand that there are going to be differences and you work through it and stuff like that. And if you're willing to work through things, it will be fine. If you just say, the second you put the wall up and say, like, I'm not dealing with this. If you can't deal with something, just say, look, I need to just have a break and come back. You never say it's done, because it's not done for the other person. They're still going. You know what I mean? Like, you need to just say, I'll have a break. Or if you can't finish it, like for instance, before bed or something, I don't know. I just say, like, I want to solve this tomorrow. I love you very much. We'll sort it out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just at least to hold on to them. And like, I'm listening, but we do need some sleep. I don't know. Stuff like that.
Bang on.
So yeah.
Sage. I've applied the same thing in my life, where if there is anything or a decision that I have to make or something that's going on, if I remove all quote unquote needs, like if I'm not tired, if I'm not hungry, and if I'm around good people, so I remove the needs of sleep, I remove the needs of food, and I remove the needs of connection, then I tend to make better decisions. Yeah.
You sort of need to like set things aside and sort of talk it out, because sometimes what you need is not what the other person needs, sort of thing. But like, you need to sort of come to a center on things. And because I get that, like, sometimes someone's need might be something completely different, but like you need to meet in the middle on things, and you know, help each other out. It can't be one-sided. So, which is, you know, yeah, because obviously if it's one-sided, it's not really, you know, someone can't carry all the weight.
It's a relationship.
Yeah.
Your business.
Yes.
Your plants business.
Yes.
What is it called?
My beautiful plant business is called Fuzzy Pine. So yeah, I have an Instagram and I have a Facebook. So
Okay.
you can search it up. It's yeah, it's the one obviously with the plants. So yeah, because there's yeah, I think there's a few other Fuzzy Pines around, but I mean it's a funny name, so I don't think really anyone's picked it. So yeah.
And what do you sell? What's on the page?
So I sell plants. I sell plant arrangements, so like little succulent arrangements. I sell terrariums. I also, in some cases, will do garden maintenance for people, so planning out their gardens, doing hedging, doing mowing, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, anything really horticulture based, like I'm your girl, just like anything. Like I've had weird requests where it's like, can you just like clean my pot and put new plants in it? And I'm like, all right, so I just did it, and they were happy. So yeah, that's all that matters. If they're happy, I'm happy. So
Love
yeah.
it. Where can people follow you?
Oh yes, Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, so Instagram is at Fuzzy Pine, and my Facebook is Fuzzy Pine as well. So yeah.
And where can people be updated on your arm wrestling stuff and your personal life stuff?
That would be my Instagram. It is s.spacebuns. Can't miss it. That's me. And yeah, I do put on a lot of updates on my matches and comps coming up for, you know, the future and for people to watch and stuff like that. A lot of exciting stuff. So yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Stephanie, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been great being here. So thank you very much for inviting me here.
Pleasure's ours. Time to go to the gym.
Oh, okay. No worries. Let's get a pump. Let's get pumped. Yeah.